Right, here we go, starting day 3. I'm gonna get out here. I'm actually out here a little bit later. I've been getting out here like at 6 the first day, 6:30 the next day. Today it's actually like just a little bit after 7, which means I'm probably gonna run into Reveille. I'm gonna run into the horn, which means as I'm running at the very end, they're gonna do Reveille, raise the flag. We gotta stop, face the flag. So I might end up having to stop for 2 minutes. I'll pause everything and I'll finish off that last 2 minutes because it looks like I'm really gonna run into that. I'm gonna try to beat it. But got cloud coverage today. That's why I didn't get out here so early this morning. I got here a little bit later because of the fact that it was raining. And usually by the time the sun just starts coming out, it'll let up and it kind of really just kind of drizzles a little bit. And I love running in the rain. I love running when the roads are wet. I'm gonna be on concrete and pavement the entire time. There's already people out there running. I know they love it. I love it. This is a good time to run. You stay cool the whole time. So I'm gonna get started. I'm gonna turn this off and I'll pick back up when I get over to the track. Okay. One last thing I wanted to go over is that I was 176 this morning coming in, so I'm not gaining any of that weight back, and I'm really, at least I was able to get from 173 back up to 176. Now I've gotta stay here if I can and try to work my way back up to that 180. Like I said, running, I'm gonna burn weight. I'm gonna lose a lot of water weight. The good thing is with it being cloud coverage today and raining, I'm probably not going to sweat nearly as much, so I doubt I'm going to just have a massive drop today. I shouldn't lose more than a pound or 2 of water weight. Easily be able to put that back on throughout the rest of the day. So anyway, let's get started. All right, 10K done. It was kind of tough. It was a bit, I didn't take into consideration the humidity. And it's cool out, it feels good, but you can definitely feel the humidity. And man, I was sweating, so I was thinking I probably won't lose that much in water weight today. I think I did, but also it rained on me. It did start coming down just a little bit. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad enough for me to want to stop. I'm pretty soaked. I don't think it shows up that well in the video, but this is normally not that dark of a green shirt. And I want to go over to like one of the things I really want to discuss is doing these types of workouts. You can create your own workout. You can build up to a workout and create your own, and how to create it and how to build up to it. And it doesn't have to be a 10K run. Not everybody's the same. There's guys here, they're doing 20Ks. They're running for like 2 hours. You know, they're in a lot better shape than me. Better shape than I could ever wish to be. You know, and they can get on the weights and they can do a lot more weight and go a lot longer. You know, I'm not at that level. I'm not going to be at that level. I'm much older, you know, for my age and what I'm comfortable with and what I've worked up to, plateaued out at. And maybe I'll increase later on. I've even thought about, instead of doing sets of 10, doing sets of 15. And I'm sure one day I might get up to sets of 20, you know. I could probably do that. And I actually do that sometimes. I'll do 5 sets of 20. There was one day where I did do 10 sets of 20 on my calisthenics just to try it out. And it was good. I was able to do it, but I was pretty fatigued, a lot more fatigued than I normally am. So I'll work up to that, you know, challenge myself a little bit more. But right now, happy just doing this. So I'm gonna get through this 7 days with the 10K run, with the calisthenics, with the 1,000 reps, with the 500 crunches. And at the end of the 7 days, we're gonna take a look. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm definitely losing weight. So the 180 out the window, I've lost that. This morning going out to my run, I was 176. Never did gain it all back, lost more yesterday. So now I'm going out at 176 again. And now I'm probably back down to about 173. So I'm going to have to fight the rest of the day to get that weight back on. I'm not trying to go down. That's the thing. If I was 190, I'd be all over this, doing it just like this, doing these good workouts. Even when I was 190, 195, I was still running for an hour. But then I didn't do it for 7 days straight. But get out, do this workout, and just shed that weight. If I was back up there at that weight, it's a very good and effective way to lose weight. Not good if you're trying to bulk up. So anyway, I'll see you guys at the office. Peace out. Greetings everyone, Rogue here. So I'm going to keep this one kind of short and simple, just to update on where I'm at with my workouts. And my weight really is what I really wanted to talk about. So, you know, the first day I came in, I was weighing a little bit over 180, I think. or right at 180, going out to do my first run. Lost a lot of weight, a lot of water weight. Didn't really get it all back. Made it back up to about 176 the following day, which was yesterday. And then fell back down into a hole at 173. But I was able to get that weight back up at least. So I was able to go out this morning and start my run at 176. So that actually helped. And I didn't really lose too much because it was raining today. It was cloudy. It was nice and cool. I did sweat. And it even rained and drizzled on me a little bit during my run, as I spoke about earlier. But that was tough to go. It wasn't too bad during the run. I don't mind the drizzle. I really kind of liked it. If I was just going to just run and that's it, or maybe even run and do the calisthenics. But going into the gym and as soaked as I was, my shoes were soaked, everything was a miserable workout. So I wouldn't suggest that to anybody. The next time that happens, if I wake up in the morning, for instance, and there's going to be more rain, I think I'm just going to run on the treadmill. I'll just put in an hour on the treadmill, and then I can do my calisthenics right there inside the gym. So today, I actually got done in an hour and 28 minutes. That was pretty good. I also wanted to talk about how I've gotten into this, and I'm not really just putting on here to say, look what I can do. Those are my videos. What I want to do is to educate people on how they also can do these types of workouts, but not by just jumping into it. One, you remember I'm 48 years old. And then two, I know it kind of looks like a lot, like you say a 10K run, followed up with 100 reps of calisthenics, different workouts, and then 1,000 reps of different workouts in the weight room, and then plus 500 crunches, and you got 3.5 hours worth of a workout. That's a pretty broad workout, and especially for people that's in my age group. But would it be that hard? There's a lot of people out here that do endurance workouts, and these guys some of them are guys and girls, they're in their early to mid 20s, and they could do my workout skating on their heels. That's easy. They can get out there and run 20K. They can do 2,000-3,000 reps, of a workout. So an endurance workout to them, by my standard, probably isn't as much. For other people, it would be a lot, But what I've noticed and what I want to say is you can create your own endurance workout, but you got to lead up to it. You don't want to just jump out and get into it. You want to know where's your starting point. And I had a lot of time on my hands, so I started doing extended workouts. I was doing weights in the gym, and I was getting myself up to doing 10 sets of 10, and that's really also something like that. It comes down to stamina. I've noticed it really, I'm building up my stamina. So like for instance, 10 sets of 10, it's a lighter weight that I do, but like for instance, I finished out with 155. A year ago, if I'd have put 155 and tried to do 10 sets of 10 on bench, I wouldn't finish. I can do the first 3 or 4 sets, would have been fine. Once I hit that 5th, 6th, 7th set, 8th, 9th, and 10th set, I ran out of stamina. I wouldn't be able to lift it. I'm not getting weak. I don't have the strength anymore. So I've built up endurance, really. And then I increased my weight up to 155. And I've even gone a little bit higher, go up to like 165. I'll finish out at 165, 175, but not really past that, because that's just one workout of 10 workouts that I'm going to do. So remember, it's about pacing yourself. So the way I started off with an endurance workout, and the way I started to look at doing endurance workouts was I came across a workout that was called the Murph workout. And what it was is you run for 1 mile, you do 300 air squats, 200 push-ups, and 100 pull-ups. And you follow that up with a 1 mile run. And you want to time yourself to see if you can improve each time you do it. That's your goal. The first time you do it, it might take you an hour and a half to 2 hours. The second time you do it, it might take you, say, an hour and 45 minutes, or an hour and 50 minutes, and you work your way up to like an hour and a half, or even better than that. Some people can do them really fast. I did it. When I first did it, I was already running. So running a mile wasn't difficult at all. Even running a mile and doing a workout and running again, because I've done that many times. And just a mile, I can do that in like 6 minutes. That's not a problem at all. Even on a slow day, if I'm just going to jog a nice, easy mile, I'm only going to spend about 8 minutes out there, I think. Maybe 7 actually. 7 minutes out there running a mile. If I'm just easy jogging, I barely even break a sweat, what I started to do was kind of modify it a little bit. And then I thought, well, why just do 3 exercises? You know, I could do more than that. I'm in the gym, I'm doing other exercises. So I really started focusing on push-ups. I was doing lunges. I was doing air squats, you know, which is in the Murph. And then I found I was doing 5, 6, and even 7 workouts. So I was still running a mile. I was doing some workouts and I was running another mile. But then I got to thinking, well, I can run further. I do love to run, you know, let me do more than just a mile. Let's do 15 minutes. You know, that's a little over 2 miles, about 2.5 miles. So I started doing 15-minute runs before and after, you know. And then I found that if I just do a big long run and follow that up with a good workout, you know, I just worked my way into it. And before long, I found that doing 10 sets of 10 of a different workout became achievable. Whereas before, it really wasn't. So I'll just show you how I keep track on my phone, because it's very, very easy to lose track too. I've just increased over time. So when I pull my workouts up, this is what my workout looks like. This is it. I just type out what each one is. So I got bench, we got curls, tries, military press, lat rows, pulls, you know, different workouts. I even got a couple of freestyles down there. Like if I want to do a free set down at the very bottom, and it might just be something I'm going to throw in that day. So all of these together, and at the top is where my lunges are. My lunges, my squats, my push-ups, they're all recorded at the very top. So on my run, I do all my calisthenics, and then I'm in the gym doing this. Now this has just been something that I add on to. It started off with 3 or 4 workouts, turned into a few more, turned into a few more, turned into a few more. And now it's gotten up to probably 10, I think 12, just in the gym weight workouts, about 12 workouts, plus the 4 or 5, because I got burpees on here too. Got 5 calisthenic workouts. So, and I don't always do burpees, you know. Burpees will wear you out, and that just, if I just do burpees, I could mix them in with my calisthenics, but then I'd have almost no energy to go into the gym and finish up. And that's the toughest part. So on an average day, you know, what I'll do is I'll run, I'll get some good exercise in, I'll do some calisthenics. Like if I just, let's say I'm gonna do it all. I'm gonna do my calisthenics, I'm gonna run, I'm gonna do my calisthenics, I'm gonna hit some weights. I'm probably gonna do 5 to 6 workouts on an easy day. If I go a little bit further, if I wanna go a little bit heavier and get more time on the weights, I might cut back on the calisthenics a little bit and then do more in the weight room. So I'll probably knock out about, you know, say 7 or 8 workouts, you know, but I'll skip calisthenics, you know. And also it depends on my weight and, you know, what's going on, if I'm losing too much, too fast, which I made some coffee just now. Had it made for when I went downstairs to use the restroom. I forgot I had it in there. Still hot. So anyway, I did want to keep this kind of short and sweet, even though I did have a video prior to this while I was out running and doing my exercises this morning. No real reason to go over, like keep filming the same workouts over and over again when we know what we're doing. But I wanted to go into a discussion on really, you know, what an endurance workout is. If you do extended workouts, you don't have to do them all the time, and especially not every day. I don't think it's even healthy. If I was to continue on 7 days, is fine, I can do it. If I was to like, hey, this is my workout, this is what I do, and I do this every day, what's going to end up happening is my body's going to start to break down. I've actually done that before, where I got big into CrossFit workouts. I really love doing CrossFit. CrossFit is a grueling, especially when you try to do an endurance side of it, where you really extend those workouts. And I'm talking about, you're in the dirt, you know, you're doing push-ups in the dirt, you're running on trails, you're flipping tires, you're dragging sleds, you're grabbing kettlebells, everything's outside, the ground's uneven, rocks, you know, it's a sweaty, bloody workout. You trip, fall, scrape your knees, scrape your elbow, bust your knuckles, do that all the time, you know, black all over your hands from flipping the tires, you get the big tires. What I found was that after a few months of doing that, my body was breaking down more than it was building up. It wasn't a really good workout to just do consecutively all the time. You know, it turned out that was more detrimental to my body and to my health. So I got back into regular cardio and weights, you know, and not heavy weights. I don't do heavy weights, because I mean, one, you gotta be honest with yourself, and I was honest with myself back in my 20s. You know, hey, you're the type of guy that's gonna get big. You know, how how big do you think you're going to get? You know, you're not going to get big if your DNA is just not there. I mean, you can take steroids and human growth. That wasn't me. So I started focusing on, you know, really just maintaining overall health. And I've been an avid runner since I was well in my 20s. Even when I would get at my heaviest and I always wanted to cut some weight, you know, that's what I would do. I would run, you know, and I'd do a lot of cardio. And I knew my limitations. I know my limitations in the gym. I know my limitations on the weights. And then I'd get off of it, you know. So I had my period where I was super healthy in my 20s, off and on. I had my period in my 30s where I was very healthy and very toned up. Probably in the best overall looking shape of my life, where like it was just all there. Everything I wanted, you know, finally I achieved it. And then I just kind of let it go because of my work and the fact that this was during 2012. There was a lot of movement. There was a lot of movement into Afghanistan. There was a lot of movement into Iraq, and there was a lot of movement out. And they were shuffling people around. Like, you were fighting to keep a job, you know. So I didn't really have time to stay in the gym because I didn't know if I was going to be at one location very long. My jobs tended to be more of, you know, I'd go to this camp, work here for a little bit, go to this camp, work here, and I would get workouts in when I could, but it just wasn't enough. I wasn't eating regularly. I wasn't eating good, which is something else that I found. I found this out in my 40s. I'll go into that in a little bit. But anyway, I let myself go in my 30s, my late 30s, my 40s, and I got very heavy. And then I got to thinking, you know, I'm never going to get back into shape. I'm never going to get to that shape again that I was in my 30s. I really thought that. I thought it was just DNA. It's just the way it is. And I'm older, and this is what happens to older people. You know, you put on weight. It's harder to keep it off. But this is what I found. Is that, and I talked about this, like diets alone don't work. That was in one of my other videos. And what I meant by that, like say for instance, when I was here, and this was before I really trimmed up and started to notice the difference, I was running here a lot. I was I think 195 by the time I made it over here. And I ran for an hour here, running the same route that I do now. But I wasn't getting toned up. I wasn't losing that belly fat. I wasn't losing my side handles, you know. And I didn't know why. It's because I thought I was eating right. I thought I was eating okay, but I wasn't. I was never eating right. I could maintain. I could really fight and starve myself and do my runs and do my cardio, and I could bring myself down to 190. But you know, when you are really pushing yourself like that at the table, what you're eating, you're going to cave in, and then you're going to go eat the cake and the ice cream and the hot dogs and all that, and you're going to put it all back on. So the diet alone and the workout alone isn't enough. You're going to keep that heavy, fat, rounded side handles, all that's going to be there, no matter what you do. So it is a combination of the workout, the exercise. You got to burn those calories and the foods that you eat. And if you really watch Dr. Ken Berry on YouTube, Dr. Saldano on, I think it's Paul Saldano on YouTube also. They have YouTube channels. They're big on the carnivore diets. They're big on proteins. They really break it down. They explain it to you, what carbs are doing to you, what sugars are doing to you. Just cut those out. Eat as much as you want. I mean, literally, like I'm eating huge amounts of food in the DFAC or in the galley here while I'm doing these endurance challenges. I'm eating big chunks of meat. They're serving us good now. Everything's kind of running back to normal. Now we've gotten all our workers back. They're getting more food in. The shipments are starting to come in. So, we're getting, hey, if I want 2 or 3 pieces of chicken, big pieces of breast or turkey, and get slices of turkey just really big. I'm getting like 3 or 4 slices at a time, and I'm getting the sandwich meat just by itself, not making sandwiches, not putting it on bread, just getting the meat itself, And then I will put it in some dip sauce, so I get some some low fat, low cal ranch dressing. I'll dip my meat in that, maybe put a little hot sauce in there, But yeah, there's carbs and there's sugars in there, but if very little compared to the meat that I'm eating. And I'm gonna tell you, the meat, you can load up on meat. And I'm doing these exercises and I am loading up 2 meals a day on meat because my breakfast isn't really, it's just it was oatmeal. I'm not even doing that now. But the 2 meals for lunch, so sometimes I'd be so full from lunch, I would have a hard time going in to eat supper because I'm still, still got food in my stomach. But I'll go in there and I eat anyway, and I'm still dropping weight. So that's why I'm saying it is good. It's very effective, but it's just not enough. Now if I was to eat just meat, and I really wasn't working out or doing anything, and I was sitting here at the desk all the time, you know, I imagine I would probably still be putting on weight. Some would probably go to energy and muscle a little bit, but if I'm not using them, you know, some of it's going to get stored to fat. So I'd still probably would begin gaining some weight, or at least just not doing anything for myself, you know, as far as like physique wise. But mix that in with some calorie burn. So really, the one thing that I wanted to stress was it does not have to be a 10-kilometer run followed up with like 1,000 reps and 500 crunches. It doesn't have to be that. It just has to be a calorie burn sometime in the day, you know, even if it's nothing more than just standing up at your desk, you know. Like I said, if I couldn't run, I would walk. You know, I would go out there and I'd walk for an hour. Don't worry about distance. And it's about getting that heart rate up, because that's what's burning calories. When your heart rate's up for 3 hours today, for instance, for the past 3 days, when I do my workouts, when I'm out there running, my heart rate is way up over 120, you know. Now, for my age group, I think my max heart rate should be, and these are just, you know, according to every statistic out there, you know, like, I'm not sure what it is, I'd say 150 or 160. I'm not really sure anymore because I don't look at them anymore. I know that when I was 40, it was supposed to be like 180, and I kind of used to track it back then, but I can go way beyond that. I can get my heart rate up very high. I was still getting it up over 200, my max heart rate. And I think that was true for most people that just worked out regularly. Like their max heart rate, the chart says you're supposed to be at this, you know, but here you are, we're gonna push you and see how far you can get it up and keep it up there for like a minute. You don't wanna keep it running all the time, otherwise it'd go out on you. But if you can get it up over that, you know, how high can you go? And I was getting mine way up over that. And I'm still today, whatever mine is, it's up over that. But I don't try to get it up to that. I wanna get it to about, you know, at its max, I wanna do about 80% of what I should be at a max. I say if my max is 160, I'll do like 80% of that, which would be about 140, I think. So it'd be about 80%, you know, and I don't even get it up to there. But to burn those calories, you just want to get that heart rate up over 100. When you're sitting idle, you're usually going to be around 50 to 60 heartbeats per minute. If you're not really doing anything at all, if you move around a little bit, you can get it up to 60 plus. But if you go out walking and you do a few little exercises, even when I'm in the gym, you know, after I run, after I do my calisthenics, my heart rate's pumping. Jog over to the gym, when I'm in there doing my weights, I'm not taking long rest in between each set. Some days are a little bit longer than others. Today was much short. They were much shorter, so I'd do a set, I'd rest for 30 seconds or less, and then I'd hit that next set, and then I'd hit that next set. And my heart rate stayed over 100. I kept checking throughout the workout. My heart rate stayed at its lowest. It got down to right at 100. For a 3-hour period, my heart was pumping over 100 beats a minute. And there was times where in the gym it was, you know, 110, 111. Out here running, it was 120, 130. Doing my calisthenics, it got back up to 120 because that's just nonstop. I just do a set, you know, I'm doing my lunges, then I'm doing my air squats, then I'm doing my push-ups, then I'm doing my dips, and I walk back to the front and I do it again. I don't rest. I push through, just keep going. But that's the point that I've got to. That's how far I've gotten. That's where I've taken myself, and I've plateaued on all these. But if I was starting off fresh from scratch, and I know I can run, I would get out there and I'd do a 5-minute run. They'd put me close to a mile for 5 minutes, run. You know, don't worry about the distance. But I know I can run for 5 minutes. I'd time myself and I'd get my run. But that would just be a 5-minute workout. And you're gonna burn a lot of calories in that 5 minutes. And then I would follow that up with a few little exercises. And I would just keep adding on to it and increasing in length, increasing in downtime, or decreasing the downtime in between each set, in between each workout. And then I would really start focusing on the foods that I was eating. And eat in the morning. You need breakfast, especially if you can eat before or after. Some people like to fast and go out on a work. That's kind of like what I like to do. I like to go out and hit my workout with nothing really in my stomach. But I have eaten before. I've eaten oatmeal, but also a healthy meal would be to eat like eggs. You know, you can scramble up some eggs. You can just do the egg whites. You can just buy the egg whites, and you can scramble those up. Eat those. You know, have a small amount. You know, you got a little bit in your stomach. You know, it's very low calorie. And believe me, by the time you go out and do one 5-minute run, you burnt that off. So anything else you do after that, you're just putting yourself into a deficit. And then you can go into lunch. with that deficit. Also, throughout the day, you're burning calories because you're just naturally burning calories. That's how your body works. It burns calories. That's the fuel. That's its gasoline. It's burning calories in order to function. And then by the time you eat lunch, remember your body's still losing, so you've stopped taking calories. You know, your body's still burning calories, and then by the time you eat lunch, you're going to come up, but you still got to catch up to that. And then do the same thing for supper, and you're still catching up for that. And I kind of follow that. Now this with the 3.5 hour workouts, the 10K run, you know, I'm pushing myself really hard. I've worked my way up to this, the most I've ever done in my life as far as any kind of endurance or hard workout is doing this workout right here. This 10K run, this 1,000 reps, these calisthenics and these crunches that I'm doing. This is the most I've ever done. Now I've done these from time to time in the past for like one day. You know, I feel really good. And I know I'm going to go run, and sometimes I look at my watch and I'm like, I don't really want to go back to the office. It's too early. You know, I just did a 1 hour run. You know, I'm going to go ahead and knock out some calisthenics. I'm going to go ahead and knock out some weights, you know. And I've had days where I just, but it's like, I'll just do them all just to see if I could do it. And from time to time I would do it, you know. So I put it all together, you know. The most I would run is an hour to hour and a half. You know, I worked my way up to that, you know. The most weights that I did was 10 sets of 10. And then there was days, like I said, where I was doing 4 or 5 workouts, and then I'd get up to 10 workouts, you know, bump it back down. But then I thought, well, let me do a run with the workout. Then I started mixing in calisthenics again. So then I started doing, well, let me do run, calisthenics, and a workout. So I built myself up to that. I'm doing this, just going out for the very first day. I knew that wasn't going to be an issue. I know I can complete this. I've done it before, but I've never done it 7 days in a row. So this would be my peak. Now, I'm never going to do this again because I don't want to make this a regular thing, because like I was saying earlier, you can go to a point with these workouts, and like if you're doing CrossFit or if you're doing these endurance workouts, your body will only get so good, and then it's going to start breaking down. Your joints are going to start hurting. Your muscles are going to start to deteriorate. You're going to be in a lot of pain. That's what was happening to me on the workout. I looked bad when I was doing my CrossFit workouts. CrossFit is something I would like to do again. I haven't done them since 2018, I think, or 2016. I enjoyed doing those, but I was focused on those for like months. That's what I was doing, and it started to be more detrimental than it was beneficial to me. And I was, again, this was only just a few years ago. It's like 4 years ago, so I was 44, you know, 43 years old, you know, still in my 40s, you know, so probably was too old to be out there doing that. But could I work them in and do it from time to time? Yeah. You know, like this right here, this endurance challenge, this is 7 days, you know. I'm not going to continue on past that, you know. As a matter of fact, I'll be taking a long break, so I'll be doing probably a little walk jog in the mornings with some light workouts and maybe a few little weights. I'm just going to do 4 or 5 exercises versus 10, you know. So when I finish this, I'm going to tone it down quite a bit, you know, and I get my weight back up a little bit, you know, and let my body heal up. Maybe take a day off. Now, on a day off, like I probably would just go out and walk that day. Give myself a couple of days, keep loose, keep limber, still get some light exercise in. You know, maybe a 1 hour walk, a few push-ups, you know, some calisthenics, some air squats, you know, not a lot, you know, and then come back to the office, start my day, you know. But this is where I'm going to peak, and then I'm going to start toning it down. I don't want to stay up here, because that will just break me down, you know. We just peak and I'll come back down slowly, you know, and I'll be able to keep my health. You know, I don't think there's anything really wrong with 7 days. I've decided at this point pretty much 2 weeks. I was thinking about doing it just to see, hey, can I really push myself? Yeah, I could. I can keep on. I can keep on doing it, you know. But I struggle so much with the weight issue, and I do want to eat right because I don't want my meals, just because I'm trying to keep weight up, to be so bad, because I'm not doing it. Like I said, if I'm running an hour, back when I was 195, I was running for an hour at a time. Every 2 to 3 days, I'd get up there, I'd run my 10 kilometers, and go back to the gym, I'd work out a little bit, and then go to the room. But I wasn't getting anywhere. I wasn't toning up, you know, I wasn't losing that fat. That's because I wasn't eating right. So now, I want to continue to eat right. I want that diet to be this. I want to keep it like this, so I can keep the belly fat and the side handles, love handles down, you know, and I can stay toned and I want to keep doing the exercises. You know, I don't want to do too much of one, you know, so not enough of the other, you know. So I'm going to have to just say, I'm just going to do 7 days, consider that my peak, and I'm going to stop, you know. So maybe one time in my 50s, I might try it again, you know, but I think at this point, I should be counting my blessings and, you know, saying, hey, you know, you're fit, you reached that point, you did that, you know, and I want to stop it there. You know, now I can just maintain, you know. I think if I ever get into a point where like I really notice I'm not eating right and I'm kind of getting heavy again, you know, I'll probably, you know, start focusing on the diet and start focusing more on the cardio again, you know, do both of those together, you know. I know what I need to do. I know what the trick is now, you know, so that's how I did it, and that's what I think everybody can do. You don't have to start off strong. You can do what you can do, you know, and it really is about just getting that heart beating, getting that heart rate up and keeping it up for about an hour, you know, and then keeping a good diet, a high protein, low carb, no sugar diet. Put it all together and you'll see the results fast. I guarantee you, I've already started to see results just in these 3 days. So I've lost enough weight and I'm like, it's coming back. I'm definitely losing the belly fat. There's going to be a difference in what I took a picture at my day 1 and day 7. There's going to be quite a bit of a difference, you know, but this is kind of extreme, you know. There's no reason to continue doing this. I can do what I want to do and accomplish what I want to do. This is sort of, I guess it just like put me on a fast pace to bump me up and get me to a point, and now I can just work on that, you know. And maybe in the future, if I was to ever do this, something like this again, maybe do a 2 or 3 day challenge versus, you know, 7. Definitely not 2 weeks. But anyway, everybody, hope you're getting something out of this. If you're doing a workout, you know, good luck to you. Keep at it, don't stop. You know, don't get frustrated. You know, gains come, you know, and your gains first focus on, if you can do this much today, how much can you do tomorrow, the next day, the next day, the next day, you know. And good luck with your workouts. I wish everybody the best. Stay fit, stay healthy, stay positive. Rogue out.